longest freshwater beach in the world. With its long shorelines and waterfront shops, it is also one of Ontario's busiest beaches. Now the Ford government plans to hand parts of Wasaga Beach Provincial Park over to the local town for tourism development. It's a move Brian Smith, the mayor of Wasaga Beach, supports. Mayor Smith joins us now on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Nav. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you on the show, Mayor Smith. What is it that the Ontario government is offering the town of Wasaga Beach through this proposal?
Well, I think what's important is that this is going to be good for not only the town of Wasaga Beach, but we believe the province of Ontario. But, here's the story I think that's important, and it's important for people to understand, Nav, and that is that the town has absolutely no plan to build on the beach. And let's just get that out of the way up front if we can. Nav, this is the first time, isn't the first time that I've been speaking to you, as you know, and Wasaga Beach is unique. Banff, for example, is a town within a park. Wasaga Beach Provincial Park is a recreation class park within the town, within our downtown core, if you will. And that makes Wasaga Beach one of a kind in Ontario, maybe even Canada or the world for that matter. And to think that the park could be managed in a silo under one-size-fits-all Parks Act and the legislation was flawed from the beginning. And the proof's in the pudding. We've had a 50-year experiment with this, and it just hasn't worked. In 1976, we were promised a recreation class park that would help the town evolve into a thriving four-season recreation destination. And the province has had 50 years to get it right and to come to the table to make things better and to be the catalyst for what we were promised. Multiple governments have come and gone of various political stripes. And until this one, nobody has cared that our local economy was gutted and left dependent on two things: provincial priorities, being the park management plan, and the sun shining, both of which we have no control. So, don't get me wrong, please. There's a positive legacy to the mass expropriation that gutted our town's economy in the 70s. But what a lot of people don't know is the province came in and bulldozed homes, accommodation, thriving small businesses, and took 25% of the town of Wasaga Beach landmass to create the provincial park. And the positive legacy is that the beach is public today. It was public before they came. It's been public ever since, and it will be forever public. The town and our citizens here in Wasaga Beach wouldn't have it any other way now. And but for the residents and families in Wasaga Beach, that's the only positive thing. And for the first time in almost a half a century, the citizens of Wasaga Beach will have a say in the future of our waterfront. So, and our vision is, finally to become iconic, year-round recreation, nature-based destination. And there are examples of that around the world with recreation and nature-based destinations
Mayor Smith,
across Canada as well.
I do want to chime in because we do have another guest on after you, so I want to be cognizant of time. So help me understand what exactly the Ford government is handing over to the town when it comes to Wasaga Beach Provincial Park.
Yeah, and thanks for that question, Nat, because it's another very important question. Because there's been organizations out there, spewing numbers that are so far off accurate. It's not even funny. And the important one is that Wasaga Beach Provincial Park is a total of 1,844. That's 1,844 hectares of park within the town of Wasaga Beach, and the province is proposing to transfer less than 60 hectares of that, which represents about 3% of the total park area. And of that 3%, half is beach or sand dunes and is an absolute no-go zone for the municipality. Let me repeat that. Half of that 60 hectares is an absolute no-go zone for the municipality. These are areas where dunes and plover habitat and other ecological important items are key considerations. And it leaves then about 1.5% of the total provincial park that is being turned over to the town. And much of that today is parking lots, one being a massive crumbling paved lot on Beach Area 1, And keep in mind, we haven't even selected a team of consultants who we'll work with, which will include award-winning urban designers and ecologists and other experts that will tell us the right things to do. And this is the early days. And I imagine of those 30 hectares, we might find some land simply that will simply become boardwalks or parks or other green space, and who knows. But what we do know is that anything is better than a paved lot that sits there empty 8 months of the year.
Mayor Smith, I do have to chime in again. Sorry, we just have another guest on after you, so I do have to kind of watch the clock here. Environmental groups are saying that this deal can set a bad precedent. You just explained exactly from a percentage standpoint what would be developed versus what would be not touched at all when it comes to this. When it comes to these parts of Wasaga Beach being provincial park being handed over to the town, what's your response to that, though? That environmental groups are feeling that this does set a bad precedent towards what can happen in the future when it comes to the future of other provincial parks.
Again, what I want to stress is it's important that we get the numbers right. 1,844 hectares. Less than 3%, 1.5% that is being really given to us that we have any ability to work with. This will all work itself out in the details of the master planning process. And we'll be working closely with the province and the experts to figure this out. Again, once in a generation opportunity to get it right this time. And, we've already met with Birds Canada to talk about the plovers. We are open, willing, and ready to meet with anybody who wants to sit down and talk to us at any time. But I can tell you, there's groups out there like Environmental Defense who I've never heard from. Nobody in this municipality that works for this municipality or in council has heard from this organization to have a conversation to look at these things. And I can't reiterate enough, how important it is to our community. Mm-hmm. And I want to end, if I may, Nav, with the fact that the people of Wasaga Beach understand better than anybody that this is the heart and the lungs of this community. This beach that is so vitally important, not only to us, but to the birds and to the ecology and the dunes, that we get it right. Because this is what breathes life into our community 365 days of the year.
Mayor Smith, we'll have to leave the conversation there, but thank you so much for coming on the show. We always appreciate it. That's Brian Smith, who's the mayor of Wasaga Beach.